Well, good morning, my friends. Yes, it's still morning. Oh my, I was prepping this morning to get things ready to show you. Guess what we're going to do today? We are going to put together the simple envelope clutch with the Mary Hickman sampler. But first of all, let me say thanks so much for joining me today. I am so glad each and every one of you are here. If you're new, golly, I hope you find something that you like and enjoy and will keep coming back. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And golly, some of you have been with me for a very long time, and I can't thank you enough for continuing to hang out. And those VIP members, what can I say, ladies? I can't thank you enough for all the support and all the encouragement that you have given in helping this channel to grow. My heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you. So today, we're going to put together the Mary Hickman sampler. So I'm going to go away. You don't have to look at my face because the camera's covering half of it anyway. And I'm going to show you the sampler, and we're going to go through the steps to put it together. And keep your fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly hope this works. I kind of have it planned out in my head. I have things sort of prepped, but I'm going to show you I'm planning on doing it, and we shall see where it goes. So hang in there. Let's look at the sampler. Here we go. This is my finished one. You can see most of it. Maybe a little. Let's try to get you a little bit. There you go. Oh, that's better. I don't want it to get too blurry on you. Let's pull it a little this way. Okay. So this is my sampler. It's finished. It's ironed. I started pulling some threads to as guides for how I am going to put it together. I'm going to go over that with you. I'm going to go over the lining with you today. And hopefully I'm going to get the whole thing done, or at least the best part of it. I have two ideas for the absolute end product finishing, but we're going to see how it goes. Okay. So let me zoom you back in. We'll go zoom back in so we can see up close what we're going to do today. Okay, let's look here. I think you can see this. So I did this already on this side, but I am going to show you how. I got a hair. My cat was up here before I started filming. Yeah, you know, that specialty fiber tends to be all over the place. So anyway, as a guide to help us finish edges and put this together, we're going to pull some threads and turn some hems under and see how that goes. So this, I'm going to use my stylus here. This first line of thread pulled out is 6 threads away from your 4-sided stitch. So on all 4 sides, you want to count 6 threads and pull the 7th thread. So I'm going to jump over here to the other side so I can show you how to do that. I already have the counting done so that I don't have to. Let me zoom you in just a smidgen more. Oh, that's the wrong way. Sorry. Let's get you up close and personal to these pulled threads. There we go. Okay. So I already counted the 6, or the 6 threads. This thread here is fabric thread number 7. Okay. So what you do when you want to pull that, there's my needle. Okay. I'm just going to show you out here away because this part's going to get cut away anyhow. You're just going to go underneath, pick up that thread, and just pull it up. Like pinch your fabric together and pull this up as far as you can. Once you have it pulled up, you can get a hold of it better and then start working it out of your fabric. Okay. It takes a little bit of patience and a little bit of work to get it that way. But what you're going to do is just take a hold of this, and you see how your fabric's already starting to pucker? Just continually work that pucker to the edge, pull a little more, work the pucker. Pull a little more. Now it does help if you use a tweezers. Okay, so you're just going to keep pulling and working it across. You see how this part is getting longer? And now you can start to see that that thread is coming out. Okay, you just want to do it slowly and gently. That helps to not break the thread, because it can be a stinker if the thread breaks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is then finish down this side. So again, it works just the same way. I get a hold of my fabric, I just pull a little bit, and then I work that down through the end. Pull a little bit more. Continue to work it down until, I know it's a little bit hard to see, but you just keep pulling. And once you get down near the end, the edge of your fabric, you start to see the thread come up the channel. Okay, so when it does, you just keep working it, and just keep a hold of the thread and just work the fabric gently. Like I said, it's much easier if you can avoid the fabric thread breaking, but you're just going to keep working it, and then eventually it will get to the point where it's going to pull out very easy. Okay, so this first pulled thread is where we are going to turn. So our hem is actually just going to be this wide. Okay, so that's going to make the hem along the edge of your entire sampler. The next one that we're going to pull is, let me go up here to the corner so you can see it better. Okay, I counted 16 threads, and I'm pulling number 17. So again, 16 threads and pulling number 17. Now, that being said, this is done on 32 count Lugana, but this number of threads to do your hem should work no matter what count you've used. Okay, what this gives us, I didn't bring my tape measure over here. This gives us the 6 thread hem And this gives us a 1/2 inch of extra fabric so that there's a little meat there, so it doesn't want to pull apart. Okay, because we don't want to hem right up with only 1 or 2 threads left. So we're going to give it enough to be a little generous. So we're going to do this the same way. We're going to pull this out just like we did. And what we're doing here on this particular thread removal is, I don't know how many of you do this, but it's a good little tip here for when you're cutting fabric, because this is going to be our cut line to get rid of the excess fabric around our sampler. We don't want this excess fabric being folded up here underneath where it's going to hide our cut work. We want to be able to see our cut work. So in order for that to happen, I've measured, or I think I've measured correctly, so that I have enough excess here that when I fold this hem, it might come close to the edge of our stitching, like it might come up into here, but it's not going to cover any open areas. But when you want to cut a straight line, as many of us always want to cut a straight line, it is so much easier if you pull a fabric thread. Because what we are going to do then is when we cut off this excess, we're going to cut right in this channel. Okay? Little tip if you did not know that. If you would like that channel to be a little bit wider for cutting, go ahead and pull a second thread. Then it will be a little bit wider and give you a little bit more leeway of when you're cutting the thread. So I have one more to pull, and that is down on the end. Okay, I'm going to pull this one. Oops, I'm going to let you see the corner. There we go. I have this one to pull, and again, this one is my cutting line. Now, these 2 lines here are going to be important in a little bit. I'm going to show you how to miter corners and how to break your thread when you're pulling. Yeah, I got a little too rambunctious there. So do you see what happens if you don't gently work it? Your thread does break, and sometimes it breaks way down in here and you have to find that thread again in order to start pulling it again. So let's get this one out, and then we will cut the excess fabric away. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so now this is done. Oops, here we go. This is done on all 4 sides. So we have our channels to cut. We have our line to turn our hem. So have yourself a good pair of scissors. And I think I'm going to zoom you out a little bit so that you can see this a little bit better. I don't want it to get fuzzy on you either, so we have to watch our focus. Okay, I think we're okay there. Okay. All right. This is always fun trying to get things to focus decently. Give it a little more. Play with the settings too much, then you really get kerfluffled. Okay, hang in there. That's too much. There we go. That looks like it's close to the sweet spot. Okay. Okay, we're gonna I don't know why it's doing that, but we're going to go with this. So you can see, let me come in a little bit more. Maybe that'll help. Okay, let's just let it at this. Okay, so you can at least see what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to cut on this line. And that's just a matter of taking your scissors and trimming right in that right where that thread came out. You get a nice straight line. And again, take your time. No need to rush it. Okay, that's one side. Now, while I'm cutting this, I will tell you, your lining fabric, you're going to prep exactly the same way. Okay, you're going to, I'm using another piece of linen for my lining fabric. So I have pulled a thread between my two hemlines. I have 8 inches. And then each of these areas where we're going to turn is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so hemline to hemline is 8 inches. Then add another 1/2 inch on each side to turn up like this. Oops, I guess it helps if I get you in the camera, because we're going to be turning it up like this. And see how that is not going to interfere. It's going to come close, but it's not going to interfere with any stitching. Okay, so let's cut the rest of these sides. Now, as I said, I am just showing you how I would do it, how I'm going to do it. I am by no means a finisher. Finishing is not my thing of choice to do. However, I dabble, and it doesn't always turn out the way I think it should. But we're going to give this a try. Okay, I'm going to turn it and cut this side. I do have to thank one of my VIP members, Missy, for giving me some. She is a sewer, and she was so very kind to email me and give me some advice on how to do this, and I am certainly so very, very appreciative of that, because, you know, when you're not the person who is really good at finishing, you're always appreciative of, look, I got a little divot there, but that's okay. Any assistance is welcome, is more than welcome. So here we go. This is the last side. And again, I'm just cutting in the channel. Of that drawn thread. So how many of you have finished your samplers? Or I'm sure there are people still working on them. I would love if you'd send me pictures on your finished pieces. It would be a great joy to see them, and then I will put them in a video. So now I have everything. I have all 4 sides cut. So all 4 sides can be turned. Now what I'm going to do is I will be back in a few minutes because I am going to go to the ironing board because it just makes it so much easier. And I am going to turn my hem like this and iron it. Okay. Now, while I iron it, I am going to show you what I'm going to do. I am going to make, so that I have nice looking corners, I am going to make a mitered corner. Okay. So you see we have these 2 lines here. Okay, let me zoom you back in again. Okay. We have these 2 lines of where I pulled threads. Okay. So when I do my mitered corner, I am going to take this corner and I am going to fold it inward to this. See how this hole here is a bit bigger right here? Because it has an opening. You pulled the thread here and you pulled the thread here, so it left a bit of a bigger hole there. I'm going to fold to that hole. And as I do that, I am going to match the pulled thread row. Okay. I'm going to press that in that manner. After it's pressed, I'm going to take this side and I'm going to fold it up to the hemline. And I'm going to take this side and do the same thing. Fold it up to the hemline. And I now have a mitered corner, which will give me, and I will press this and you can see it pressed, which will give me, hopefully, a very nice finish on the right side. We'll see. So, give me a few minutes. Probably for you, because I'm going to edit, I'm going to keep running my video, but I will edit the part out while I'm at the ironing board. But give me a little bit and I will be back with this all pressed and ready to add the lining piece. So, okay, we have it all ironed. So as you see, it's all ironed and my hem area does not cover any of the open work anywhere. I don't look at my messy bag. Okay. All right. My corners are mitered so that when you look at it from the front, Actually, it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty nice, actually. Okay, let's bring this up here so you can see this end. Okay, so see, just work those corners so that you have them pretty nice and folded. Let me move you this way a little bit. That. And that. So that looks that way all the way around. Now, what you're going to do is, I've already pressed, and I actually put some clips on it to hold it, my lining fabric. So, because I'm lazy, sorry, Missy, I'm lazy. What you can do is sew this hem down either by machine or by hand and use your center stitch of your four-sided stitch to go through and sew this hem in place. However, being that I am lazy, I will tell you that right up front. What I am going to do is make sure everything is folded correctly, and I already have my lining piece prepped and corners mitered, and I am going to put, actually this is a little bit large. I might have to turn under some more. Okay, I'll have to alter this a little bit. But and I'll probably do another video here. I'll have to go back and make this fit just a smidge better. I think it's okay side to side. It's the top. So I am going to match my corners just a smidge inside the original stitch piece, like so. Okay. And I'm going to use these little wonder clips. They are wonderful. They beat the heck out of pins. And I'm going to clip it in place. Okay. And like I said, I think I'm going to have to adjust a little bit because I think my length is a little too long. Oh, and it looks like my width is also a little too long. But that's what I'm going to do all the way around. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to attach this side the way I would want it to be so that I can get the other two sides at the correct. So this is a little, this is a little fiddling. Yes, I did measure, but, well, what can I say? I did measure, but do you see how it's off? It's too long. So I'm going to put my last clip here, and I am going to have to go back and trim a little bit more off of this edge and return so that it fits just perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to do this top edge also, because that will give me, then it will be laying flat. Linen is a little bit difficult, I think, because it has so much give in it. I mean, seriously, it just is a little bit finicky. But you see how what I'm doing is I'm putting that edge just about at the edge of the stitched piece, okay? Not right on the edge, but close. Okay, let's miter this corner, okay? And I'm going to put a clip very close. Well, actually, I can fix that after I do some more trimming here. And I didn't want to, I could have done this ahead, but I didn't want to pull all the threads before I showed you folks how to do that, okay? So now this side is put in place. This side is put in place. I might want to move this down just a smidgen. Okay, all right. And now I don't think I have to take too much. Now, if I look at it from this side, okay, can you see that there's just a smidge? There's more at the bottom here. But doesn't this dark fabric shine through? Just, oh, it just goes so nice with this. So I'm going to go back to the ironing board. And I am going to turn more of this lining fabric under. And I think I am going to have to trim it because I'm pretty sure it is going to, move this one a little bit. I'm pretty sure it is going to yeah, I'll have to redo this corner. I'll have to remiter this corner. But I want it to be about like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of the frame. Okay. I want it to be about there. So that, okay, I want it to be about there so that I'm going to have to cut more off. Because if I do that, that will bring it just under the top there and won't have it be showing through. So let me go do that. So you see what I mean? It's a little bit of, you may have to play with it. You may you may have to do like I'm doing, is start out with the measurements that you come up with. Like I measured from here, from my four-sided stitch to my four-sided stitch. Then I added 6 threads on each side and measured that, and thought I had measured my lining fabric appropriately, but apparently I don't read a ruler very well. So I'm going to go fix this and I will be back. So hang in there. Okay. Wow, we're only at just about 50 minutes. That is not bad. It's good I did a lot of prep work first. Okay. Now, making sure everything is as it should be. Okay, let's see. We have no lining showing through the front. Okay. Okay. That looks good. Okay. When we flip it over, all of it is looking pretty good. Stick a few more clips in here. You know what? The more the better. Keep it all where it belongs. Okay. This corner we want to get a little bit more attention to. There we go. So that this just needs a little smidgen. There we go. Underneath there yet. Okay. This side looks good. Okay. As does this side and this side. Now, okay, that looks good. So as you see, the lining is just behind the design fabric. Okay. So my next step is going to be to go to the sewing machine. And this is why I wanted it clipped. I wanted to have so many clips so that things are in place. Because in order to hide my seam, because like I told you, I'm lazy. I don't want to hand sew it. I'm lazy. So I'm going to put as many clips to keep. I would rather sew it on the machine and go very, 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 very slowly and sew it on the machine. But what I'm going to do is I am going to sew it from the right side. Okay. And where I'm going to sew is right along this inner stitch of the four-sided stitch. So right in the middle. While I am at the machine, I am also going to sew where the folds will be. So now what I need to decide is which is going to be the flap and which is going to be the front and the back. My thought is this. This is going to be the first fold. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. And hopefully we won't get too fuzzy here. There we go. I think we're okay. So this is going to be my first fold. So this is going to be the inside, or yeah, this is going to be the front, and then this flap is going to come down over. Okay. So what I am going to do while I am at the sewing machine to keep the lining from shifting all over, I am going to also sew across the center of this four-sided stitch to hold the lining in place. And I am going to sew across the center of this four-sided stitch. All right, so that attaches my lining. That holds my lining in place. So the only thing left to do then will to be to close the sides. Now, I have several options. I could do a buttonhole stitch across the top and then down each side through the layers. Or I could because this is a nice finished edge, I could let this as it is, and I could do a whip stitch down each side. A whip stitch like you would use when you're putting a biscornu together, or you're putting English paper piecing together. That is another option. So let me see how it looks once I have the lining sewed in and all these clips off, and then we will figure out which stitch we want to do. I want to do a buttonhole stitch? If I would do a buttonhole stitch, first I would go across the top, and then I would go down each side. Actually, what I would probably do is, I'm thinking, but that's working backwards for me. I was thinking maybe starting in the middle. I think what I would do is, no, that won't work either. Let me think about it while I'm sewing. So the next step is to sew this lining onto this piece. Okay, I will be back. This will not take long. However, I do need to go slowly, and I do need to follow this inner, oh, it lost my focus. What I'm going to follow is that middle stitch, that middle line of stitches in the buttonhole stitch. So let's see how that gets. One step at a time, my friends, one step at a time. Okay, here we go. Well, that didn't take too long. Here we are, all sewed down. Just some clips to clip. See, all sewed down. Just some thread ends to clip off. Oh, there's some more. And can you see, let me zoom. Can you see how by incorporating that stitching right in that path of the four-sided stitch, you can't hardly even tell that there's stitching there. So as long as you go here right along this center line of stitching, and I think I had my stitch length set at a 3, so it was pretty close to the size of the embroidery stitch. Okay, I also stitched, oh, where am I here? Okay, along this one and along this one. So as long as you follow that middle stitch, you don't notice it. So now the only thing left to do is we're going to fold this up. Oh, here's a thread we forgot to clip. Here's another one. Okay, so we fold this up like this, and this will be our flap like this. Okay, now let me zoom you out. Zoom it, zoom it, zoom it. Here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, look at that. Is that not beauteous? Okay, so that's it closed. That's it opened. And to be perfectly honest with you folks, I am not going to do a buttonhole stitch on the edge. I think by doing my hems this way, this 6 thread border on the outside of the 4-sided stitch is just an elegant sufficiency. And I could have done that a little nicer, but you know what? The first time I ever done this, so we're gonna go with it. That got a little funky monkey there, but yeah, I'm not gonna get all bent out of shape with it. I can live with it. The only other thing I could do is, well, no, it's too late now. I can't do it the other way. Or I could not make it a clutch. I could, yeah, do something like this and, you know, have it be a, but who wants to hide that? So yeah, we're just going to say this is an inexperienced finisher who finished this. So I am just going to whip stitch this closed, just like you would whip stitch, say, a biscorn U or English paper piecing. I'm just going to whip it. I'm going to catch just the Lugana so that the lining fabric is actually like tucked inside of it. And that will be how I finish it. I think most of you know how to do a whip stitch, so I don't think you really need me to demonstrate that for you. If you don't, give me a holler and I will show you how. But there you have it. A little envelope pocket made out of the Mary Hickmont sampler. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can, I hope you get yours finished and you make it into something that you will love and cherish. It's not perfect, but I'm rather pleased with myself that I actually got it made into something. Like right there is what I really don't like, that corner, but you know what? Some things are as some things are, and it is not the hill I'm going to die on today. So with that, my dear friends, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps you to make an envelope pocket, I guess is what you would call it. It doesn't have to be out of a sampler. It can be out of whatever your heart desires. Yeah. So there you have it. So with that, my dear friends, I am going to say goodbye for now. Just remember, the only rules in cross stitch are the ones you set for yourself. So until next time, Have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video.